Welcome everyone to Nightly Newsy News. It is April the 23rd, and I do have some newsy news for you. I hope everyone had a good Tuesday and, is getting ready for a great Wednesday. Welcome, Christine. Thank you so much for joining us. And Cynthia, thank you for your service. Squid Pro Quo, thanks for being a great mod. Jude, yes, we are about ready to start. A Spirit Fleck, welcome. And Tammy, welcome. I hope you had a pretty good day. Slinky, always happy you're here. Let's see here. So, our first story is a giant douche got caught. Welcome, Dash H. I hope you have a good time here. We've got some stories and shenanigans. Also, okay, we're going to big mode for just 1 second because holy fazoli's. Look at this plush that I got, which is completely irrelevant to most things, but don't be peanut butter and jealous. And then there's the dumpster fire that says, I'm fine, everything's fine. You know, it might be that I'm 12 and a half years old, but I pretend to be an adult sometimes, which is, I seem to be faking it until I make it most days. So let's get to the news. A misogynistic maniac who punched several women's charged in a string of random New York City assaults over the past month. Oh, they found the random, puncher? Interesting. Let's see here. A deranged woman-hating maniac wanted more than a half a dozen random attacks on women in the Big Apple is finally in custody, police and sources say. How many times has he already been in custody is my question. But, I'm just weird like that. Daquan Armstead, 31, was picked up by cops shortly after midnight and charged with third-degree assault and harassment in 8 unprovoked attacks on women over the past month, the sources said. It does seem like he does have an issue with women. Welcome, Debbie Florio. I hope you enjoy this chat, and welcome, Chris Rowland. Always love your posts, and they are pushing me to, do a little better each day, and I appreciate that so much. Daquan Armstead, 31, was picked up by cops, so he was picked up. He seems very upset about his arrest, as you can see. Sir, you are an alleged dingleberry on the butt of humanity, and we might need some Lysol wipes and Purell, but off to Snake Island you go. Here, I have a thing for that. It's a one-way ticket to Snake Island. You don't punch people just out the random blue like a freaking ridiculous Mike Tyson person. What the heck is wrong with people? Thank you so much for popping in, JKD Buck. And I always love the replay crew. I'm on replay crews on so many people because I love so many streams, but we all have, the same amount of time. These include an April 17 attack on a 27-year-old administrator at New York University who was slugged in the face while walking through Washington Square Park around 10:30 a.m., according to police. The NYPD Hate Crimes Task Force is investigating, although details were not released. Well, like I said, he looks like he's really, really seriously worried. Although I don't know if I love the Grimace suit or hate the Grimace suit. You know how you have this weird kind of Venn diagram of, is that hideodorous or the best thing I've ever seen? Maybe it's just me. I can't quite figure, I don't know. The tie sort of matches. I mean, it is snazzy as heck. I kind of like the Grimace suit. Gonna be honest, but I'd probably call him Grimace, so that would probably mean we wouldn't be friends. Armstead is also being charged in 7 other attacks this year. The violent spree began on February 12th when police said Armstead allegedly walked up to a 30-year-old woman on Elizabeth Street around 11:50 a.m. and punched her without warning, then fled. Wonderful. On March 24th, he allegedly attacked a 30-year-old woman on Delancey Street about 2 a.m., hitting the victim in the back of the head as she turned, and he ran away. Now, I am not a judge. I am not even a judge like Judge Judy, but I would let the male relatives of these said women have their moment with him. But I I am not a judge, and I'm sure that's unlegal for a lot of things. Welcome, JW, and Tammy Fayette, and Auto Coffee, and Jason J, if I didn't already say it. It's been one of them days. The following day, Armstead is charged with punching a 36-year-old woman in the back as she walked at Christie and Rivington Streets around 10:15 a.m., police said. On April 12th, he allegedly slugged another woman after he asked the 38-year-old victim for $1, and she replied she had no cash, so he punched her in the back of the head. Sir, you are not a man. You are a male person, but a real man stands up and shields women. A real man protects those around him and is a shield and not a club with which to, inflict damage on all around him. So, sir, I would send you allegedly to Scorpion and Snake Island, but this is why I'm not a judge. Police say he is also accused of attacking two women in separate incidents on Delaney Street on April 5th. A 25-year-old was slugged on the right side of her head around 12:15 p.m., and a 44-year-old who was punched in the face just 5 minutes after. Okay, I get that the narrative is that crime is down and all this stuff, but these things are happening in broad daylight, and he feels comfortable enough to do this, which means that he has probably been brought in and released a dozen gajillion times. And the sad thing is that this is going to push real criminal justice reform back so many years. Because I think all of us, the silent majority, would be fine with not punishing a kid that made a mistake, or, a person that's battling addiction, give them a chance to go to rehab instead of jail. I think we were okay when it was pitched with those kind of ideas, but assault, dismemberment, all sorts of things are being added to this no bail list. At some point, some people are dangerous and need to be kept away from other people because other people deserve to live their lives freely. Why do we never think of the victim? I am struggling with compassion fatigue. I'm pretty sure that this gentleman had a hard life because of the way he treats women. I'm sure there's underlying reasons, maybe mental health. But I'm finding myself being less and less able to grab up any damns to give about criminals who hurt people when, we don't let the victims, talk to the court. We don't let them talk to the person that hurt them. And many times they take a plea deal that gives them less years plus good time. And they don't, report to the victims when these people are let out. They don't let the victims know. So squid pro quo, I am in full F deficit. It's just how it is. The last alleged attack before the assault on the NYU administrators, police said that Armstead punched a 24-year-old woman on Stanton Street after she also refused when he asked her for $1 shortly before 10 a.m. His records show his prior bust date to 2021, a misdemeanor assault case. He is expected to be arraigned on the new charges later Tuesday. Police have been investigating a series of other attacks on women that have not been linked to Armstead, including a 23-year-old woman who was slugged outside Union Square's McDonald's. Okay, I am not a fan of anyone taking the law into their own hands, but where are the guardian angels? I mean, it's almost getting to the point where I wouldn't go to New York City without Mr. Mo. Now, granted, New York City is like the capital of peopling, so I'm not going to go there anyway. But this gentleman felt comfortable enough to go around and slug people because they wouldn't give him $1, which makes absolutely no doggone sense and is hateful. And some people just choose bad. They could be given every chance, every possibility in the world, and they just have never lived in the zip code of do right. And there are some people that are just like that are just broken like that and just cannot choose right, even if they are led to right. You can lead the horse to water, you can't make them change. And those are the people that need to be kept away from us. And that is government's only actual function, for the love of all that is Cheetos. Let's see. Among other recent victims was Haley Kate, an influencer with 1.1 million followers on TikTok, who posted a video last week saying she was assaulted so viciously that she blacked out. Skyboy Stora, a criminal with an extensive criminal record, was busted in that case. Skabaki, maybe? In another random attack, a 57-year-old Brooklyn school bus aide was slugged by an unhinged man, a brutal attack that broke her jaw and knocked out several teeth in Crown Heights, cops said. Franz Judy, 33, who has a history of sucker punching attacks and mental illness, was hit with a misdemeanor assault charge in that attack. He broke her jaw and knocked out some of her teeth, and it's a misdemeanor assault charge. Y'all, and it's things like this that put me in full F deficit. This victim will never get the, felony. That should have been a felony. He broke her jaw and knocked out her teeth. I am so irritated right now. But I'm trying not to use all the cursey words. Look, like I said before, the people that are pushing these things, the people that are pushing expanding no cash bond, no cash bail to violent criminals are going to push back real and actual criminal justice change, because I think we can all agree that a teen that does something stupid, someone who has really put their life right back on track and is working hard to change, they deserve maybe some compassion, some leniency. These dingleberries deserve to be scraped off the butt of humanity and flushed down the toilet, allegedly in Minecraft, Your Honor, YouTube. Anywho, so let's get to a good story. An alligator wanders onto an Air Force base and blocks a plane. Oh, I have cicadas coming up. No worries, Tammy. I got you. You knew if I saw something with cicadas, I'd be right there on it. Aw, oh gosh, what was the name of the alligator that there were books about him? And Lyle the crocodile, although he's an alligator. We'll just call him a swamp puppy. A 10-foot alligator wandered onto an Air Force base in Florida and parked itself on the runway right in front of the wheels of the plane. I think this deserves this. Only it's Florida Gator Man. Now, the gator needed a mullet and a pair of those glasses that expert wears. At MacDill Air Force Base in Hillsborough County, they posted photos on Facebook showing a gator that made its way to the runway on Monday and crawled between the wheels of a plane's landing gear. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission was summoned and relocated the gator to the nearby Hillsborough River. Name a place I won't be tubing. Good morning, Aussie Tank. And welcome, Sock Snatcher. I will learn English one day. I really will. Quote, our newest toothy airman has been located to a more suitable environment off the base. Well, that's probably for the best, although I would have made him a mascot and probably tried to not glue, but figure out a way to put the mullet hair thing on, just because, I would want him to go full Florida man. Special thanks to Florida Wildlife and Conservation for the assist. They think Elvis pushed this guy far away from home, the post said, referencing the famously large alligator named Elvis that has been spotted on the base on numerous previous occasions. Absolutely. He was part of, they're insufferable. Well, they're all insufferable, but they're the people that glue themselves on the roadway. So apparently Elvis, made this young buck want to consider joining the Air Force. Oh, you are fine, Wolfram. I appreciate when you can do it. I understand when y'all can't. Look, I have 6 kids. Life happens. It is totally okay with me. I appreciate everything you guys do and, set up for me. So no worries whatsoever. And I did have a cicada story. Cicadas are so noisy in South Carolina that residents are calling the police. I don't know what they expect the police to do. I would call Orkin, but welcome. Let's talk Megan's hair. I hope you enjoy the show. Dear Lord, look, has someone broken the 7 seals? Was I the only one that watched that Demi Moore movie? I mean, are we like in, like biblical locust kind of thing times? Because I just need to know. I would like a post-it note if possible, if we are coming close to the Armageddon. Welcome, Truth 7242. And I'm going to get back to cicadas. Newberry, South Carolina. The emerging cicadas are so loud in one South Carolina county that residents are calling the sheriff's office and asking why they can hear sirens or a loud roar. I'm telling y'all what, if I was in charge of the Noah's Ark list, I would say, God, the cicadas did not RSVP and check either chicken or steak, and I just assumed that they did not want to come. Of course, God would then ask me why I didn't allow snakes and, well, anything that skitters aboard. The Newberry County Sheriff's Office sent out a message on Facebook on Tuesday letting people know that the whining sound is just the male cicadas singing to attract mates. Aww, they're trying to find love. They only live for a few days. After more than a decade of being dormant, some people have even flagged down deputies to ask what all the noise is about, Newberry County Sheriff Lee Foster said. The noisiest cicadas were moving around the county of about 38,000 people, about 40 miles or 65 kilometers northwest of Columbia, prompting calls from different locations as Tuesday wore on, Foster said. Trillions of red-eyed periodical cicadas are emerging from underground in the eastern U.S. this month. Hashtag hard pass. Can we just give these up for Lent? I mean, I know Lent's over, but can we like just, you know, give give up cicadas for Lent? Asking for a friend. Anyone. Trillions of red-eye periodical cicadas are emerging. Oh, the broods are emerging on 13 or 17-year cycles. Their collective songs can be as loud as jet engines, and scientists who study them often wear earmuffs to protect their hearing. After Tuesday, Foster understands why. Although to some the noise is annoying, they pose no danger to humans or pets, Foster wrote in the statement to county residents. Unfortunately, it is the sound of nature. He's like, don't call us no more, okay? It does really stink. I feel kind of bad for cicadas. I mean, they live underground for 10 years and then they only live for a couple days. They do get to mate, I guess. Welcome, Kay Marshall. But it is a little sad for them. They only live a few days out in the real world. In celebrity news and holy fazoli's, what in the heck and what in the Walmart rapture is going on here? Megan Thee Stallion is sued for harassment after allegedly having smexy time with a woman in front of an employee. I guess that's a weird way to handle a first interview. I don't know. I mean, I've never been in an office setting. Megan Thee Stallion's former cameraman is suing the rap superstar for allegedly creating a hostile work environment, claiming she forced him to witness her having relations. Welcome, Flash fan. I am doing okay. I hope you're doing well too. No, just gross. I mean, we all have cameras now. If you want to do a little home filming, you have your own personal camera. Inviting someone else into it. Look, I mean, maybe if I was, in the best shape of my life and I wanted to show like my six pack off, but still, I'm not inviting no one. That's amazing, Squid Pro Quo. I'm glad you had a good Walmart experience. Once in a while we do. And no crazies. I am envious. I am peanut butter and jealous. Emilio Garcia claims in the complaint filed in Los Angeles Tuesday and obtained by Page 6 that Megan, 29, had relations with an unidentified woman while riding in an SUV during a tour stop. Well, I mean, at least both of them are flexible. I don't know how big the SUV is. You know what? I'm not going to do the physics on that. My brain would do the physics on that, and I don't need to bleach my brain. No. During a tour stop in Ibiza, Spain in June 2022, the personal photographer who had worked with the WAP rapper since 2018 allegedly witnessed the incident, as he claims he was in the car at the time. Well, isn't that special? I feel like turning into the church lady, like, maybe it's Satan. I mean, look, do what you want to do, consenting adults, thruples, quadruples, polycules, I don't care. My standing rule has always been, do whatever makes you happy, and unless I ask about your kink, don't tell me, but I could ask about it in like weirdly detailed questions. So, if I do ask about it, you might not want to answer anyways. I am sorry, Tammy. I do put on ads just to help cover streaming costs and things like that, but I know they can be a pain. And Mom of 10, I'm glad I am there with you helping make dinner. Oh, Yes, it's definitely Satan. I'm just kidding. She's a beautiful woman. If she wants to dress any way she wants, she's not my baby. I don't really care. It's kind of like that, if you will. Quote, "Don't ever discuss what you saw," Megan allegedly told Garcia the next day, per the suit. The cameraman told NBC News of the alleged incident, quote, "I felt uncomfortable. I was kind of frozen in shock. At kind of just the overall audacity to do this right beside me." Garcia also claims in the complaint that Megan berated him during the same trip to Spain with comments like, fat, um, female dog, spit your food out, and you don't need to be eating. Oh, there will be no fluffy shaming. Look, a a a person who is fluffy, take me for example, we are aware that we are fluffy. We do know. We have access to mirrors and reality. Uh, but some of us work better with small steps, and I don't remember anyone ever turning to anyone and saying, "You know what? God bless you and thank you. All that criticism you heaped upon me really made me feel good, and I'm ready to change." Never seen that happen. Now, I'm buying a walking pad. I have a standing desk, but it's not going to happen in a day. I can't tolerate much workouts. So, it is what it is. People are trying their damnedest, and just because weight is the one thing you can see on the outside, you know, everyone has their thing. Weight is just the one thing you can see on the outside. So, maybe give us well-nourished Americans just a little bit of respect. Some of us are really trying, and some of us, have to figure out how they can exercise with their new body. Uh, let's see here. To hear someone who advocates about loving your body telling me these things, I felt degraded, he told NBC News of the remarks the Savage rapper, whose real name is Megan Pete, allegedly made. I mean, she's a very beautiful woman, and I can kind of see her nippular area, or possibly we're going to skip that just in case that was nippular area. Just because, YouTube gets a little, I don't know. Garcia claims Megan then altered his pay from the monthly rate of $4,000 to a pay-per-task system after the trip, which resulted in him earning significantly less. He also allegedly noticed a change in how he was treated and saw a decrease in the numbers of bookings he received, per the lawsuit. Garcia claims he suffered damages as a result of what he allegedly endured, including substantial losses in his earnings, totaling more than six figures in back pay, employment benefits, injuries, sickness, emotional distress, medical expenses, and more. Quote, he endured a barrage of relentless sexual and fat-shaming comments, plunging him into profound emotional distress. Nothing hurts like when a friend or someone you thought was a friend, says something really hurtful. Or, someone you thought was a friend is really more of an acquaintance, and having to, learn that the hard way and figure out who your real friends are is such a hard task. It really is. And it is soul crushing when someone you invited into your life, especially as an introvert, and you don't let many people in, and you realize that you maybe made a friend of someone that you should have kept as an acquaintance. It just, I can understand his emotional hurt. I don't know about everything else, but it is really hard when someone you think is a friend, like that, like she was to him, and, preaching all of these body positivity things, and then to be so hypocritical back to him. That's just, ma'am, you're famous for talking about your lady bits. That is not classy. And you can choose to live your life whatever way you want to, and that's fine. I'm not your mama. But the way you treat people, what goes around comes around. So if these allegations are true, you know, it's it it's not pretty when people discover the hypocrisy. Ask Lizzo fans. Yeah, Debbie WS. Nothing like doctors not reading the daggone chart. For the love of all that is holy. You know what? Doctors make you fill out 733 pages of information that you're supposed to have already filled out when you get to their office, but they don't effing read it. At least in my opinion. Allegedly, I don't know the real truth of them reading it or not, but it does feel like they don't read it when they kind of look at you confused when you try to tell them about how your meat suit is behaving. Rock Nation terminated Garcia in June 2023. Per his attorneys, he believes it was direct retaliation for his complaints about the ongoing illegal behavior and failure to pay him properly. What? Megan the Stallion is maybe a little shady? Megan just needs to pay our client what he's due, own up to her behavior, and quit this sort of harassment and fat-shaming conduct. Attorney Ron Zambrano said in a statement to Page 6, Emilio should never have been put in the position of having to be in the vehicle with her while she enjoyed another woman's company. The California-based lawyer who also represents Lizzo's harassment in oh Lord, are you the new Gloria Allred? Are you gonna find all the people wronged by rappers? Is that what you're trying to do? Concludes, quote, inappropriate is putting it lightly. Exposing this behavior to employees is definitely illegal. Megan's reps did not immediately return Page 6 requests for comment, and the Hot Girl Summer rapper has not addressed the allegations online. Aside from Megan, Garcia is also suing Megan the Stallion Entertainment. I have always wondered, I am not a cool kid, and I was born 47 years old, but she does realize a stallion is a male horse. I'm just asking, look, her genre, I like some rap, but it's not my thing. So I was just wondering if she knew that going in, and it was just a choice thing. Like, she's like, I'm a stallion. I mean, I don't know, ma'am. Whatever you play on the weekend is fine with me. I just don't want to know about it, okay? Allegedly in Minecraft, Megan the Stallion. Don't come after me. I am simply confused why you chose a male animal moniker. I need things to make sense. In sadder news, oh, for the love of all that is holy. Sorry, I deleted I deleted my article when I was trying to click on it. Former cop kidnaps his 1-year-old son after allegedly unaliving girlfriend and his ex-wife, who filed for a protective order after he was accused of SAing a teen. What in the absolute cheese and crackers is going on here? Sir, if you have done everything that they alleged, directly, no stops, you're flying on Spirit Airlines, Snake Island, in the cargo bay, may I mention. A former cop is on the run after he allegedly unalived a woman outside a Washington State elementary school and another person at his home before kidnapping his 1-year-old son, who is now the subject of an Amber Alert. So, I generally don't do kiddo stories, but if anyone is in the Washington area, I wanted to make you aware, or the California area, in case Just keep your eyes peeled. This is a sweet, innocent little baby boy. And, we want to make sure that he gets home. And I think Sarah A was talking about a bunch of Amber Alerts. According to West Richland Police Department, 39-year-old Elias Huzar shot a woman on the grounds of Wiley Elementary School shortly before 3:30 p.m. Monday as students were being dismissed. You absolute 100% mega, 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 mecha thunder cow. You traumatized all of those children. You left your son without a mom. Jerkface McJerkface. You made your choices. Live with it. If you did something to a teenage girl, it's straight to Snake Island any hoozle. But oh my gosh. Ugh. Just if you've ever taken out your trash and it's been raining, he is lower than that corroded trash water, in my opinion. But I am not a judge. I am a crazy redhead who does vintage hairdos and, talks on the internets. So take no life advice from me. And absolutely, Linda Evers, we need prayers, thoughts. I don't know what y'all believe. I am the world's worst Christian, but definitely just keep this little baby in your thoughts. Oh, okay. Sorry, I got a new keyboardy thing that attaches directly to my new chair so I don't have to lean forward. Sorry, no more, exaggerated cleavage shots. For now. Once I get my walking pad, I might just get to my goal weight and be like, but for now, I have an easier way to work on my keyboard. The cops responded and pronounced the woman dead. Who is this guy's first name? Because, okay, Elias. West Richmond Police. So the license plate is CBZ4745. As West Richland Police and other agencies were serving a search warrant at Elias's house, they found another person not living. Cops did not identify her either. Elias is suspected of murdering his ex-wife and girlfriend, says an Amber Alert issued for Roman Huzar by the Washington State Patrol. 1-year-old child is missing, possibly headed to Mexico. Roman reportedly is Elias's son. Authorities have not publicly named the victims. The shooting caused a chaotic scene at the school. Chris Worley told the Tri-City Herald he was in his backyard when he heard 4 or 5 gunshots. Quote, I thought it was someone hitting something with a hammer. It did not sound like a weapon. Then a woman came flying out here before the cops even got here and started screaming that someone was shot, he reportedly said. School officials rushed the students back inside to safety. No one else was hurt. Oh, okay. Thank you, Mom of 10. The latest news on this guy led police on a chase, and he has now self-deleted. The child is okay. Thank goodness. Thank goodness for a wonderful end to this story. So many times, and it's a heartbreaking, bittersweet end, but this innocent baby is safe. And I hope the family, the relatives, on the father's side and the mother's side can work together to give this child a wonderful family. And I do respect and honor that regardless of his wrongdoings, This gentleman had a mom, had a dad, had a family, and they are probably grieving the loss of him too. You never expect your family member to do something this heinous. And, you know, just because someone does something heinous doesn't mean you can turn off your grief. And thank you, Slidey Pie. I am I am going to do a tutorial tomorrow of how I do this and then link some of the videos I use to get started in vintage hairdos. They are much better teachers. I will show you the Mo way, which is in no way officially the way to do things. But I do have a few tricks that they taught me, and I can try to show you what I do. I will let you know, warning, um your life will be spent finding bobby pins or buying bobby pins. Because if you're like me, a chaotic neutral for good, or a chaos demon for good, I can't quite figure out what my rating's going to be. But if you are like that and you uh, don't put things away when you put them down, it's a bit of a crapshoot. So I'm trying to get better at that. Their full name was Robert Pins. I'm not formal here. Cops did not name the victim, but the Herald. So I'm not going to read anymore. Like I said, my heart goes out to everyone who passed away today. 2 were victims and 1 was an assailant, but they all had families. And welcome, Flux. I'm sorry. Thank you, Flux. I got peanut butter and, oh, for the love of Cheetos, peanut butter and jealous of your vintage hairdo. And thank you, Flux, for the raid. Welcome all the Flux raiders. New debate. Should handwriting be taught in schools? No. All of us that know cursive now have a secret way of corresponding that the Gen Z will never know. Can you imagine, instead of the Enigma machine, we just all write in cursive and the new generation is like, I don't even know. I think it's wingdings, if you ask me. Thank you so much, Flux. I mean, I'm just saying it's not good for the children, and I probably wouldn't do it, but it is fun to think about, hey, maybe we could have our own secret language. Should handwriting be taught in school? Debate rages as American IQs drop for the first time in decades. Well, I mean, have you seen what Hollywood's putting out? You'd have to be stupid to follow the not plots in that. The pen may be mightier than the sword, but it could soon be just as relevant. Educators and parents are observing a surge in U.S. youth that don't know how to read and write in cursive, which they blame on handwriting increasingly becoming obsolete in the digital age. Okay, you know what happened to these children? And it is all right. Jess McClaverty, we welcome you whenever you get here. Audio coffee, I'll take my secret skill and combine it with chaos, and eventually only doctors will be able to read what I've written. It's genius. The problem with kids that they are currently testing is they lost 2 doggone years of school. You know what? Absolutely, positively, can we look at the pink elephant in the room and say that, keeping kids out of school was terrible and it stunted their growth? I mean, my boys in the private school are learning cursive. My kids in the public school have not learned cursive. And, my daughter, who's nearly 17, had a hard time signing her name because she's like, what do I do? I don't what is I don't understand how to sign my kids don't know how to sign their names. What in the heck are we doing to our children? For the love of all that is flaming hot, Cheetos. Welcome, Noel. Can someone just stand up and honestly take accountability for the fact that we should have kept kids in school? I mean, I would be so much less inclined to ask the Department of Federal Education. I mean, I would still do it, but when I become president, but can we all just look the pink elephant in the room and say, "We done effed up and we need to help these kids." And however we need to do it, we need to do it because they were robbed of 2 years. They're stunted emotionally, they're traumatized. Some kids don't even understand speech. I am just about done with the Department of Education. Don't come at me, feds. I'm just saying. It's an opinion. Uh, Parents and educators are oh, yeah, which this handwriting literacy has in turn made them unable to perform basic adult tasks. Quote, "My 20-year-old granddaughter struggles to sign a check." Ta-da! Oh my gosh, audio coffee, I hate that. Or when the post person comes by and she's so, so sweet. She's so sweet, but it's like a box this big and I'm supposed to write my entire address in it. And she's like, "Just put the first three numbers." I mean, she is just a sweetheart, but it's amazing. Yeah, kids aren't being taught how to logic things out, how to use the Socratic method, how to interrogate ideas, how to, turn your ideas into something profitable, how to sign a checkbook, what credit cards are about. I wish that there was a real life class. All the things that you should have known, like, hey, a credit card in a department store sounds really, really, super awesome, but it has 27 adjustable APR. So you are going to end up paying $474 for that, Victoria's Secret $100 purchase. Had I known that, that would have been awesome. Had I known how to change a tire, how to do an oil change, how to make sure my filter's clean. I mean, all those things. I it's just we are letting skills die and expecting our, automated toasters to pick that up. Oh, Debbie Florio, that is amazingly brave. My husband left the NY Board of Ed after he realized policies were not conducive to learning. That is, walking away is really hard. So I can imagine that was super hard. Mo, when you use the Socratic method online, they accuse you of sea lioning. I mean, how dare you require someone to effing think for themselves? I've never heard sea lioning, but look, y'all, I think the dumbest thing in the world is to fight on Twitter. I mainly use Twitter to kind of put things out that I feel like I need to put out and, to promote my channel. I don't get into Twitter, flame wars or whatever it is, because look, I am not going to change your mind and you're not going to change my mind. And I have enough things to do without fussing at imaginary people on a keyboard, probably somewhere over on, in Kentucky or New Zealand or, you know, Morocco. I have enough time. I don't have enough time to deal with dinguses. Slinky, I am totally there with you. I have a lot more grace for children, teens, and maybe people with developmental disabilities that I worked with. But when regular adults can't seem to understand adulting, and I've already told them this is why I'm glad I was never in an office, because I can handle kids being, well, kind of helpless. But when an adult is, I have a very, very little amount of patience for that. So my 20-year-old granddaughter struggles to sign a check, Kimberly Giacovino of Monroe, Connecticut, lamented to the Daily Mail. Meanwhile, Dr. Lori Coroner, an assistant superintendent for the Riverhead Central School District in New York, claims that she has, quote, encountered too many secondary students and employment candidates who cannot sign documents relative to their onboarding process. The penmanship phenomena isn't just anecdotal. According to a 2021 study by OnePoll, a staggering 70% of Americans struggle to read their colleagues' handwriting, while 45% claim they can't even make out their own. Meanwhile, over 30% of survey respondents said that their illegible handwriting would make them anxious about writing on a board in front of colleagues, while others have said signing important documents would be stressful without the ability to write in cursive. Experts have blamed this trend on the rise in digital technology, which has seen teachers increasingly swap the pen out for a keyboard in the classroom. This proliferation of digital discourse has been blamed for lower IQs, which decreased for the first time in the US in decades. No, you locked us up for 2 years and we stagnated. And these poor children have just been left out to farm out things. I was there every day watching the BS, absolute drivel and tripe that y'all were putting out on, e-learning. So y'all need to take a good hard look in the mirror. It's not easy to admit when you screwed up. It stinks to eat humble pie. But you know what? Being humble, admitting there's a big pink elephant in the room, would be greatly appreciated. Last year, scientists at the University of Oregon and Northwestern discovered that IQ scores had dropped sharply, which they chalked up to technology decreasing attention span and negating the need to think deeply about subjects. Meanwhile, Hetty Rosensing, a professor of Emerita of Education at the University of Calgary, claimed that even 5-year-olds are falling behind as the classroom becomes increasingly saturated with this IQ sapping tech. It's not the pads. Y'all left them to be whatever that to basically, snort Cheetos or eat ramen noodles or fiddle around with their pad for 2 years. This is not the pad's fault. Stop blaming the pad. For the love of all that's holy. Ugh, just gross. Conversely, a new study by Norwegian scientists found that penmanship boosts brain connectivity, particularly across regions responsible for learning and memory. Yes, when you have to integrate movement and body movement, which is muscle memory, while you're learning a new skill, it is mapped in several different places. One place where you store movement memory, one place where you store, short-term memory, but having to do it repetitively over and over, it becomes a muscle memory. And it's something that kind of combines all of those skills and, neuro nebulas form. I'm not a brainologist. I just watched House once. Just kidding, y'all. I watched House for a couple seasons. Look, I may love Hugh Laurie. He's my kind of snarky as he plays House. I don't know how he is in real life. When writing by hand, most of the brain is active, said lead author Audrey van der Meer, who teaches neurophysiology at Norwegian University of Science and Technology. This requires the brain to communicate between its active parts, which in turn puts the brain in a state that helps both children and adults learn more and remember better. Unfortunately, like a muscle that atrophies when not exercising, these declining rates of pen use have made this skill diminish to the point where expert fear it's going to go extinct. It's like the telephone on the wall, Tracy Bendish, an ABA autism therapist for Jefferson Public Schools in New Jersey, told Daily Mail, less and less used, and then not there anymore. In order to save the skill from expatriation, from extinction, education experts are urging schools to reintegrate cursive into their curriculums. Many education centers stopped teaching handwriting in 2010 when Common Core state standards took place, which prioritized math and reading over cursive. How'd that work out for y'all? We're still getting dumber. Thanks, Common Core. Oh, Awesome Possum Squid Pro Quo can give us some more information. I can take this one, Mo. Basically, all synapses form by 3 years old. Then if you don't use them, you lose them through pruning. Ah, so I must not have ever been graceful. I lost that tree branch early. And probably quicklier. Zach's not here to hear that grammar and word butcherness. Recently, California and New York have passed new legislative bills requiring students aged 6 to 12 years old to learn cursive writing. California Assembly member Sharon Quirk Silva claimed that it was essential for students not only to be able to write in cursive, but to read it as well. I thought Common Core was during Obama and No Child Left Behind was Bush, because I graduated before No Child Left Behind, so Lord help me. Light a prayer. Light a candle. Say a prayer. Let's see here. Along with signing a check and other documents, cursive proficiency is necessary for being able to decipher certain documents like the Declaration of Independence and the Diary of Anne Frank, experts argue. If handwriting becomes extinct, it would be a major loss to understanding history or connecting with our past. Oh my God, it's going to be like the end of Planet of the Apes, and they're going to find something from Shakespeare, but it's written in cursive and no one's going to understand it. It's going to be wingdings. Assistant Superintendent Kroner summed up the importance of cursive like this. Though technology has its benefits, children still need to be able to read cursive in the event a document is presented to them along their journey. They most certainly, at the very least, need to know how to sign their name. Oh, okay, No Child Left Behind was Bush. I lived through the Texas version while he was a governor. So what we're saying here is Genlennials and Gen X are going to rule the world. We're going to know what cursive is. We're going to be old cursive, very, very nice calligraphy is beautiful. And with so many people getting into calligraphy, I think that would be a great thing to get kids interested in cursive. Look, writing your letters a bajillion and 12 times is not fun. But we have all these new people that are doing the word writing and all the markery things that I see on my Facebook and on the TikToks. We could absolutely, I think, get some kids interested in cursive if we did that. Hey, Audio Coffee, I love a fountain pen, but I have to have a very, very fine nub or nib because I have terribly here. Where is one that has handwriting on it? I have terribly small here. I have terribly small handwriting, as you can see. So I need a very small nib. My teachers were always pissed at me because I would write so small. I thought I would inherit by, like, forewarning, I was a weird child. But I had hoped that with puberty, my handwriting would also blossom like my chest. I don't know why I thought this, but I was hoping with puberty I would get like the bubbly, beautiful, graceful girl handwriting. Nope. I got John Doe from Seven handwriting. His millions of journals. Oh dear Lord. And for our last story, it's a little spicy and not safe for work. But if you have your earbuds in, um, this man is having a very difficult time. And well, I don't even know how to bring this up, but here we go. Exit. I'm sorry, I had to send this to Sal because it's a Mark Jensen type of stories. I have a foot long uh, twig and berries. It's so monstrous. I was barred from yoga. What in the hell kind of yoga were you doing, sir? I'm gonna need. Uh, why do you look like you have that perpetual like? I don't. I just work. Where is? I was told that there would be cake, and every time I come to one of these, I never get cake, and I just want my stapler. Um. Well, sir. Congratulations. Don't know how one wins this. Quote, his downward dog was a bit too distinctive. So much for bigger being better. UK's most well-endowed man, Matt Barr, claims that his twig has caused him some big problems. Well, at least it's not flaccid floppy problems. I mean, dang. Including dating difficulties, sexploitation, and perhaps most embarrassingly, getting booted from a yoga class because people thought he was, well, happy to see them. Quote, I'm trying to dispel some of the stigmas, Bar 40 declared while discussing these endowed hardships on a recent episode of British talk show This Morning. The bulging Brit reportedly boasts Britain's biggest tallywhacker, which measures more than 12 inches long when happy to see you, more than twice the global average of 5.1. No, I was told the average was 7.5 to 8 feet. As I said, I was a totally weird child, and I was hoping that I would get, wonderful girly handwriting with puberty, like a bonus gift, if you will. But that did not happen. While having, an endowment that big might be every man's dream, apparently it's not all it's cracked up to be. People have learned a lot of myths from pornography, lamented the unlucky New York Post. You're having too much fun with this. Oh, General T, I am so sorry. I hope that your bank can refund that, and they can find the people that scammed and everything else, because they are douche canoes of the highest order, and they should be sent to Snake Island. And I know it is so stressful, and I hope that it all works out for you and you can get the fraud people and all that stuff. This is just awful. Who was shy about his situation so this man was shy about his situation growing up. Quote, they don't realize the implications that would have when you're actually living in a situation to day-to-day basis. These implication, which he details in his upcoming biography, A Long Story: Life with One of Sir, no one is gonna read this book except for Sal because I'm going to send it to him. But A Long Story: Life with One of the World's Largest Peens. A memoir whining about my immense growth. Mhm. I'm I'm sorry, General T. I shouldn't laugh, but I imagined Sal opening the box when he got this story and or this book. But it is a really sad situation, and I hope that it gets taken care of. Quote, it's difficult because it's not something you really spring on people as a surprise because it scares people away generally. Um, when dating, the phallically gifted fellow described, oh my God, New York Times, I have punished you for your punniness, but this is cringe-larious. Let's see. Obviously, you don't wanna be creepy and bring it up too early. So, like, are we talking, like, 3rd date, 2nd date, like, maybe, like, "Hey, I really like orange sherbet, and I'm a Leo." And he's like, "You know what? I like chocolate ice cream, and I have a giant member." I mean, I don't know when you would bring that up. Hallmark definitely does need to make a card for this man. This poor man. Not to mention that, contrary to popular belief, having largeness can be an inconvenience in the boudoir. Quote, they love the idea more than the practicality, lamented Barr. In corn, there's a lot of filters being used. It's very small bodies, lots of camera angles and stuff. So when they face someone who's actually generously endowed, it's not what they want. There are people who like it for bragging point of view, added the Brit, who claims that some opportunists have even tried to cash in on his, well, boy parts. One nightmare date, Barr was even catfished by a woman who tried to get him to appear on their OnlyFans page under the guise of a normal date. Well, and sir, I don't mean to be critical, but how did everyone start to know you had the biggest member in Britain? I mean, did you tell everyone? Did you let everyone know? I mean, I guess I wouldn't imagine from seeing you that you're packing that much heat. But I generally don't think about people's boy bits when I'm meeting them for the first time. So, were you really attracted to, like, really tight pants in the '70s? I just need to know how this came out that, like, were you all in, like, a locker room, nude, and you all decided he's the biggest? I just don't I am trying to figure this thing out. The Battle of the Bulge has gotten him into trouble in non-romantic situations as well, including one mortifying instance where he was accused of getting Twitter-pated during a yoga class. Quote, I was wearing a very baggy shirt and shorts because of the yoga positions. People just got the wrong idea. Were you not wearing underpants, sir? If you're free bird in it, then yeah, I don't know if they make special underpants for larger guys. I don't generally look up, large peen underwear, but they have large bust support, so I'm guessing they have large peen support. I would just recommend wearing undies next time. Simple. Oh my God, New York Times. Did we just become best friends? Schlong story short, Barr was kicked out of the class. New York Times. Hearts and love. Love and hearts. I can't watch long story for the love of all that is holy. And despite the cons of possessing a giant boy bit, the enhanced man doesn't plan on getting his manhood reduced at any time. They can do that? Uh, a deflation of sorts? I mean, just whack an inch. Okay, never mind. Never mind. I can't even. Uh, it's a very expensive surgery. They have a penile debiggening. This is an actual thing. Look, I'm not a medicalologist, but they have a a, a severing of sort, a trim, if you will. What in the actual? I what may then is he? And if you're the one that has to carry him around on your, shoulders and back, it does make sense. I would join a certain committee if I could. It's cost so this the deflation surgery cost £15,000, around $18,681.22. He described. It's not only done. It's only done normally in cases of tumors and things like that. In the case of normal function, it's not common. I don't. I did not know that surgery of debiggening existed. Barr said he ultimately hopes to dispel the stigma surrounding discussing his phallus. No one cared about your phallus until you brought it up, sir. I mean, look, everyone brings up when they're a vegan sometimes, or pushy vegans will, and people that do CrossFit will try to get you into, kip ups, but I have never in casual conversation had my bra size come up. Tammy, you are freaking kidding me. I'm getting some from Mr. Mo. Oh my gosh, he's gonna be so irritated with me. Like, really? 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 Yeah, it sounds like he just like popped it out as a party trick everywhere he went. Like, you want to know something? I'm pretty sure I have the biggest dong in this country. Well, I guess his doctors who measured it at a foot. I wonder if he can write in really good cursive in the snow when he's peeing, because he has, he can use two hands. Oh my God, I'm a terrible person. This story is breaking me. Oh dear Lord. I don't see why there's any difference talking about this and talking about your boobs or any other bodily part. It's not sexualized. No, the peen, in fact, only has like two different functions, and one is sexual. Now, again, never in casual conversation have I ever been, in any way inspired to ask someone their peen length. Oh my God. The Brit is not the only man who suffers with this. New York's Jonah Falcon, who claims to possess the world's Stonehenge of dongs, a whopping 13.5-inch beast, said he's fed up with showing people. Then don't freaking show it. I don't get it. I mean, look, I understand you'd be very proud. Look, if I were a dude, I'd probably be doing the elephant, and the helicopter on OnlyFans, because holy cow, I would be out of sorts. But for the love of all that is Cheetos, again, men, just like when you send pictures of your penular area. No one asked. I mean, unless they asked. But just random, unsolicited. Oh, fun dying. If I were a dude, I'd be like charging people from like a sideshow. Like, you want to see the world's largest schmeckle? Uh, I'd probably go to a nudist colony and just hang out and, make everyone feel peanut butter and jealous. But anywho, I'm I'm gonna get off the peen talk. God, I'm broken. This has broken me. Anyways, I'm gonna send you guys all over to Shizzy. I am going to get a quick bio break, and then I will be back, and we will be watching the Theodore Edgecombe trial, and hopefully Borowski is there with some snark and sarcasm. Have a wonderful evening if you're not going forward to Shizzy's. I will see you tomorrow morning, and have a good evening. General T, I hope that they get all of your situation cleared up, because I know the stress of the unknown and the waiting to hear back. It is never easy, and I hope you get quick answers. Bye, you guys. I will see you in just a bit.